I guess it really, really does not matter, but I still have not changed. I'm trying to like do better at setting the scene better. I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. I have my bachelor's degree. I went to the University of Southern California, which is where most of you have probably found me through my college vlogging. I am instead going to talk about why I decided to enroll in an online programming bootcamp, why I decided to learn code. I'm 24. I decided to enroll in this bootcamp. A lot of my explanation is kind of different to different people depending on how much they know about me. And it's also been inspired by a lot of different things. So, where to begin? I learned how to edit when I was in the 5th and 6th grade. Our teacher, Kai Kaltenborn, taught us how to edit videos. And from that point on, I was just like absolutely hooked. You're essentially taking clips and just creating whatever message you want to create. Whatever story, whatever scene that you want to show, you get to communicate whatever you want to communicate. No one thinks about what they're thinking about all the time. Once you start posting your thoughts and publishing it on a platform, you realize that your thoughts can really help other people just by putting these thoughts out there. One of my favorite creators is Tim Ferriss because he talks about kind of taboo things, but also really niche random things like productivity and like how he uses like psilocybin for his depression. Just like cool stuff that I would like to hear about that I don't really have conversations with. Those are poor examples, but not a lot of people are going to be interested in those niche topics surrounding you, but a ton of people are going to be interested in these topics around the world. And so I've realized the importance of having a digital presence and just the huge benefit that you can get from it. I think everyone can benefit from having a digital platform. It's just allowed me to connect to thousands of people all over the world. I was in Italy and a subscriber said hi. I've been in DC at a bar. I've been in China where people have recognized me just from learning how to edit. You can have a connection digitally. I could communicate differently. It's me completely giving you my thoughts. If that resonates with you, you continue watching them. If you're putting it online, then not only do you have like more eyeballs on you, but the people that you want to talk to or the interesting people that you want to have conversations with, they basically have a track record of your credibility. They see what content you're putting out, they see your personality, your voice, and I think the future of our world is going to continue to get increasingly more digital. There's just no question about it. Even as we sit in quarantine right now, it's just how the world is moving. I also think that everyone eventually kind of will have their own personal brand or their own digital presence somehow. This is kind of where coding comes in. It's kind of related. I kind of see it the same way as editing. Editing is like a very technical thing. It can be very creative and you can build things and create things. I have built and spent hours, hundreds of hours on my YouTube. And it was interesting because when I was trying to compile or just like trying to capture it in my resume, at the time I didn't have a website. I just made a website and I just made it public again. It's called Unemployed Millennial, which I hope as I learn the tools to just actually code that website myself and make that like my portfolio. I haven't quite decided what I want to do with it. When I was applying to jobs, I would kind of like try to get a gauge on how I came across like via the internet. I googled my channel name for the first time and it was Annemarie Chase, and all the things that popped up were literally old boyfriend tag videos that were like years old. It's not something that I would be like, hey, this is me. Like this is what I think is representative of me. No. So that was like kind of another thing that really, really, really interested me, is just the idea of a digital presence, but also what that means for you in the future. No one really knows what posting what is going to do for you long term because it's all still kind of new. As I was thinking about this, I was kind of thinking about how there's no real way to portray yourself, portray your digital footprint, or to just portray how you want to be portrayed as on the internet, except for like portfolios or blogs or, you know, like a YouTube or a Twitter. Learning how to code, I think this is how I see it so far, and I mean, I think it's right from what I'm learning in my classes. You're learning the ability to build a platform with whatever message that you want to communicate to whoever is coming to your website to get that message. Because you're able to interact with the person that's on the web page. You're able to guide them where to click. You're able to show them what, kind of the flow that you want to show them in. And so even just thinking about it in terms of applying for jobs, how I couldn't really accurately portray how I wanted to come across. People are putting themselves online more and more and more, and that's not going to change. Our future is for sure going to continue to involve this kind of stuff. And so my perspective is, if I could also figure out how to do that and build these platforms, then I have kind of the ultimate flexibility in creating whatever I would want to create on the internet. I see it as kind of creating a pathway for me to create whatever I want, basically. Like Naval Ravikant, he has an incredible episode with Joe Rogan where he basically explains a lot of these things that I've been thinking. I'm just gonna link it below. If you listen to it, you will understand I've been thinking about doing coding and programming school for a little while, and then once I heard him say that, I was just kind of okay, I have to do it. The whole thing is pretty relevant, but I know that there's a specific piece where I was just all of this speaks to me, including about the coding thing, so I'll link that in the description below too. So all of these things kind of have culminated into me just being I think that this is something that I kind of need to do, whether I want to just be in tech and I end up being in marketing for tech, for a tech company or a startup, or if it's using technology, programming to build kind of a company of my own. But I think that being able to build things and having an idea and understanding what's possible and what is not possible, I think is investing in the future and also my future. So those were a ton of reasons, but that is why I decided to do a programming bootcamp. I was kind of hesitant at first because I will be the first to say that I'm not good at this. I do not think it comes natural to me. I do think I need to spend more time learning. I think I get kind of easily distracted and discouraged because I'm just this makes no sense to me. The thing that's important is that I really, really genuinely do want to learn how. So with that, I am going to continue to post more coding / programming videos. I think I'm going to start posting more about it, but if you ever look at my GitHub or my code or anything, just know that I know my code is trash. I'm definitely still in the beginning stages of learning, and I'm a pretty slow learner. It takes me a lot to process things. I expect it to be very, very, very hard for me, but I also think a lot of it so far, and as with everything, is really about just showing up and being okay, I'm willing to learn. To get a glimpse into understanding how all this magic pops up onto a screen is kind of incredible. So that's where I also think that I'm in the right place, because while it might not be super interesting to learn about objects and arrays and all the nitty-gritty, that is extremely important fundamentals, I do think that learning about the stuff that makes it run is really, really cool. Okay, I have a headache from talking so much now. This is what I do. I'm sure I'm missing a lot, and I'm sure this was jumbled and kind of didn't make sense, but it also just kind of doesn't. It's really half intuition, half just little random things that have happened to me in the last 4 years where I'm just this really kind of makes sense. I know on my path, and even right now as I'm talking, there are a ton of holes in this path and the bridge that I'm trying to make here, but I think that it will be filled. I'm not quite sure how to articulate it, but I feel I just need to learn some more and get some more experience, and I think that there is a really good, successful way to bridge the gap and all the holes through learning how to do this. I hope that this video was interesting. Subscribe to me on YouTube. I recently lost subscribers. That's what happens when you're inconsistent and start posting again. Follow me on Instagram too. I've been posting a lot of Alaska pictures. It looks like a glacier, but it's not. It's just a waterfall. Okay, bye.